When an employment application asks who is to be notified in case of emergency, I always write, a very good doctor. Today, I'm going to recap a 2019 action thriller film called Polar. A quick warning, there will be major spoilers ahead. At an undisclosed location in Chile, Michael Green, a former employee of Damocles, an organization of assassins, is killed by a specialist hit team consisting of Cindy the decoy, Facundo the sniper, and the assault team of Alexei, Kurt, and Hilda.
Love that song.
Duncan Visla, known as the Black Kaiser, is a Damocles employee nearing mandatory retirement on his 50th birthday. By making sizable contributions to his company retirement fund, he is owed over $8 million upon his retirement day. Unknown to him, Mr. Blutt, owner of Damocles, plans to sell the company and is inflating its value by murdering its retiring operatives, thus acquiring all of their retirement fund by way of a clause in their contract. Duncan lives in a remote town in Montana, where he is gradually building a relationship with his neighbor Camille. He is haunted by flashbacks of his murderous past and attempts to cultivate a normal life, to no avail. After giving an ill-fated talk at a local school about foreign countries and combat, he buys Camille a pistol and tries to teach her to shoot, but she seems disturbed by the weapon. Duncan is pressured into accepting a final contract by Vivian, a common associate of his and Blutt's. He travels to Belarus to fulfill the mission, where he finds it was a setup to have him killed. Returning to Montana, Duncan is hunted down by Facundo's team, via his accountant, and several fake addresses.
Come on, I wasn't gonna...
After stopping to help Cindy with an apparently broken-down car, the pair return to his house where they have sex. Duncan is trapped in his house by the team, but he outmatches and kills them all except for Alexei. Who activates Plan B and kidnaps Camille. Duncan discovers this from Alexei's girlfriend, junkie Jane, and seeks the help of his old friend Porter, who instead betrays and drugs him. Duncan awakens in Blutt's mansion chained in place and is tortured for 3 days by Blutt himself for killing Hilda, whom Blutt was in a relationship with. At the same time, Camille is kept in a drug-induced incoherent state by Jane. Blutt stabs Duncan with a slim knife, and part of the blade snaps off on Duncan's titanium hip replacement. Blutt also slashes Duncan's face and stabs him in the left eye. Overnight, Duncan uses the knife shard to pick the locks on his manacles, and by morning he escapes the mansion, killing many of Blutt's men. He travels to Jasmine, an old friend of his, who treats his wounds and supplies him with weapons. Duncan calls Vivian and offers himself in trade for Camille, which she accepts, but on Blutt's orders, she double-crosses him and sends a hit squad, accompanied by Alexei and herself. Duncan gives Vivian a chance to walk away, but she refuses, and he uses remote sentries to kill the entire force on Alexei, and leaves a wounded Vivian to her fate. Duncan returns to Blutt's mansion, where Blutt's remaining henchmen flee, rather than face Duncan. Blutt awaits Duncan alone, but is decapitated. Duncan rescues Camille and returns to Montana, where he treats her. When he awakens one morning, he finds newspaper clippings of the murder of a family many years prior, which he recognized as a hit that he himself carried out, albeit with bad intel, something that has haunted him ever since. The only survivor of the family was a young daughter, who grew up to be Camille. He finds himself at gunpoint and explains what happened to Camille before apologizing and telling her to close her mind and pull the trigger. However, she spares him. Camille then asks Duncan to help her find out who ordered her father dead, and he agrees. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.